Check. 1, 2, 3.
The D. Brief. This is the D Brief.
Your guide to Detroit.
Your guide to Detroit's arts
and entertainment scene.
This is the D
Brief.
Hello and welcome to the Debrief. I am your co-host. My name is Seth Ressler.
I'm Becky Scarcello.
And on today's show, we have a very special guest. He is one of two official photographers for the city of Detroit. He is also the photographer for the website, theneighborhoods.org. We've talked about this with Aaron Foley, who's been on the podcast a number of times. This is a project that they're doing over there to let people know that there's a lot more going on in Detroit than just downtown and midtown and highlighting some of the things that are happening in other parts of the city. He also has an exhibit called Neighborhood Natives. It's a photo exhibit that you can see at the Detroit Main Library. Please welcome to the show, Cyrus Tetteh.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I don't think we've had a photographer yet.
We haven't. I know. So I was really excited. And for the whole city is pretty astounding. You've seen a lot of good stuff already, I bet.
Definitely.
So start there. What does a photographer for the city of Detroit do?
Well, so initially I was hired in part-time to be a photographer for the neighborhoods.org. So that day-to-day on being a photographer for the neighborhoods, which is, an extension of the city of Detroit, we're all still in the media department for the city of Detroit. But yeah, the neighborhoods.org, for those who don't know, is a site that pretty much maps out the entire city and every single neighborhood, which is over 211, they're all represented on the city and on the neighborhoods.org. So we put out so one side of the site works as kind of like a service for all the people in the neighborhoods, people of Detroit. You can go on there, find your exact neighborhood. You can see when, little things from when trash day is to even big things like how much money and investments has been invested into that neighborhood. You can go on there and find your district manager, the council members, everything. All of that information is there for you. And then the other side is we put out stories every day. Stories, we work as like a news site. So kind of like the news, but the neighborhood news. Yeah. So we cover a lot of things in the neighborhoods that, won't get a lot of exposure on TV or in the newspaper. Or, we like to keep it very local. So my day-to-day as a photographer for the neighborhoods, I'm out meeting with these people, taking photos of people with great stories. And my initial, my first day, Aaron said, welcome to the team. Your first job is to take a picture of every neighborhood in the city.
Take a picture of every neighborhood. Yeah. So what did that mean to you? How'd you attack that assignment?
Well, coming from where I come from, I was excited and I wasn't going to turn down the opportunity. So it was a lot. It was a lot to hear. There's over 200. He said, "Sorry, there's over 211 neighborhoods. I need you to go in every single one and take a photo so we can get this site up." And it was a big task, but I really wanted it, and I really, wanted to do a great job in growing this position. So I attacked it. There's 7 different districts. All the neighborhoods are split up into 7 districts, and I attacked all 7 districts week by week. And that was my very first task from getting started with the city.
So you had to kind of use your eye to see what gives a flavor of each neighborhood.
Definitely. Yeah. It was crazy. It was literally it was cool because now that I think about it, it was like I was giving the faces to the neighborhoods kind of from the ground up, because all he would give me is the name and kind of like, the coordinates.
Sure.
So I look them up and go on the map and see what's around. And I'm like, okay, St. Suzanne, I definitely have to take a photo of that. Or, I'm going to be in Mexican Town. I take a picture of this restaurant or this high school. This is really popular. So, yeah, it was cool. It was very, very cool. And it's something that only a Detroiter, I think, could do or should be able to do.
So that's the thing with our show. Seth is not a native. He's only been in Detroit for about 3.5 years.
Okay.
And I've lived here my whole life. Okay. So we kind of, play off each other.
Yeah, but you can't name all 211.
Even I'm surprised by that. But I I definitely. I think people who move here don't often get the scope of Detroit, let alone Metro Detroit, but even the city. I mean, it is enormous.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the exhibit that is right now at the Detroit Main Library. This is Neighborhood Natives.
Yes.
Explain the concept and how it came about.
Yeah. So the Neighborhood Natives was a project I was very excited to work on because it was like I had free control under where I could start. So Aaron at the beginning, Aaron Foley, my boss, the editor of the neighborhoods.org, he gave all of us at the time, each person on the team, by the way, it's a 5-person team, not including Aaron. We have 2 writers, Kenzie Clark, Jamila Jackson. I'm the photographer. And we have 2 videographers, Jeremy Brockman.
I think that's bigger than the Free Press at this point.
Right.
That's hilarious. Yeah. No. But yeah, so Aaron came to all of us individually and said, hey, you guys, I don't want this to be, boring or all about the city and everything. I want you guys to be creative and come up with any projects that you want to work on. Let me know so I can green light it and you can get started. You can work on whatever. Feel free. So I met with a couple other people, Amber included, and we were just brainstorming. I just knew that I wanted to take photos, work on a project where I took photos of dope Detroiters, just cool people from Detroit or cool people in the city. That was what I wanted to do in the simplest terms. And we were all meeting at lunch. Amber showed me this video. It was a Vogue video. It was actually a fashion campaign, and the campaign was focused around this model who was from Detroit, but she was dressed up in the very high fashion. It was like editorial style, but it was a video of her kind of roaming through her old neighborhood in Detroit. Oh. And so she showed me that, and she's like, this seems kind of cool. Show me. I'm holding my hand like this is my phone. Yeah, right. Like this seems kind of cool. And so I was like, yeah, that would be cool. I could take photos of people that grew up in Detroit and near the houses or in the neighborhoods that they grew up in. That would be awesome. So from there, we started making a list. It was me and Amber, because Amber, she's very popular. She's met, being the social media manager, right. She's met everyone, and she just has people on speed dial. So she was the perfect person to work with. I couldn't have done it without her. She made all the connections. Everyone in the exhibit were all ended up being people that she had met at some point in her position.
We gotta meet Amber and get everyone on the show.
No, definitely. She can get in touch with anybody. Yeah, and yeah, Mary Wilson was actually the first person that we photographed for the event. That's a wild story.
So tell us, and for people like me who are not necessarily from Detroit, tell us who Mary Wilson is and tell us about that shoot.
Yeah.
Mary Wilson, legendary singer, a Motown singer of the group The Supremes, with Diana Ross and Martha Reeves, and yes, so we were in a stage where we just had our list. We had our list of people that we kind of wanted to get. We even separated the list into like different tiers. Like we got our top tiers, Dan Gilbert, then we got middle tier. We got this. So we
were the next tier down.
Yeah.
They were coming to us.
We're like the honorable mentions.
Y'all was on there.
Well, we just weren't available that time.
Sure. All right, no, that's what it is. That's what it was. No, so the Mary Wilson story is so wild. We were actually me, Amber, and Aaron, we were all at Detroit Homecoming 2017. And so Mary Wilson was actually there. And so Amber, she's very ambitious. She was like, hey, I'm going to try to get Mary for the photo series. And I was like, all right. She said, I think she's in the green room. I'm going to go back there. I'm like, all right, well, go ahead. And so she went back there, did some magic. And next thing I know, she's like coming out with Mary like right behind her, like, all right, come on, let's go. She grew up in the Brewster Projects.
Yeah,
and so,
that's right.
So immediately, it was hard to keep her attention, but Amber and then Aaron jumped in. They were tag team, and they tag teamed, and they kept her attention all the way to the elevator, and we were on the way to take Mary Wilson to the Brewster Projects.
Wow.
Right from homecoming. It was not planned at all. It was just very random. We just saw her and decided. We knew where she grew up at, and well, she told Amber backstage where she grew up at. So yeah, we took her. Well, what happened? Mary, she had her own, she wanted to take her own ride. So we couldn't stop her from doing that. So, but Aaron did hop in the Secret Service. Well, I don't know if it's Secret Service. Hopped in the Uber with her. I don't know. It was one of the
that
long
top tier is really top.
Yeah.
No, the long Suburban. They all have.
Yes.
Everybody who's important has a long Suburban with the tinted windows. She got in one of those.
Okay.
And so, her and Aaron are riding around. I think they had to make a stop at Starbucks. So they gave me and Amber time to go to the Brewster Projects, right? Scope out the scene a little bit. We were looking in, making sure there was, nobody inside of the buildings or anything. We weren't going to go all the way inside, but just a peek inside just to make sure nobody's sleeping or camping out and just checking out different scenes. So yeah, we did that for we had like 15 minutes to do that before they pulled up. And yeah, Mary Wilson pulled up. She was very cool about it. It was crazy. She even sang for us. She even sang for us at the end of the shoot when I took some photos of her while she was singing. That was how we kicked off the.
That's awesome too. And I've seen that photo, and dang, she looks good. Like she looked like she prepared for a photo shoot. It was just after this meeting.
Yes, the Detroit. Luckily, she was dressed for homecoming, or maybe she stays dressed like that all the time.
I think she kind of does. Probably. Yeah.
Can we ask about some of the other names that you photographed?
Yeah.
Yes. So another cool one was Tommy Hearns, a champion boxer from the east side of Detroit. We were on Helen Street. I think it was like Helen and Mount Elliott, over there near the Legends Grill over there on Mount Elliott. It was really cool meeting with him. He's like he's legendary. It's legendary. And we were just in the hood on the east side. He was like, yeah, my house is right here. There was no house behind him. It's just a lot of grass, but it's just like, I have a photo of him like pointing behind him just to a field of grass. It's like, man, this is Tommy Hearns. We on the east side in the hood.
Yeah.
A very, very genuine moment. We were at this Coney Island meeting with him, and so when we pull up, he pulls up shortly after, and so we're outside talking to him, and there's this guy. He seemed like just this homeless guy, what some may call a crackhead. I don't know if he was a crackhead, but it was this homeless guy. He was like across the street, and he just like waved, was like, "Hey, Tommy!" And we were looking, and me and Amber, we look at each other. We were like, "Yeah, let's get him out of here. I don't want him to feel uncomfortable." But Tommy actually turns and he's like, "Oh yeah, I know this guy," and we like, "No way!" And the guy come across the street. And he's like, fake boxing with him. Like, hey, Tommy. He's like, yeah, I grew up with this guy. And it's like, wow, how crazy is this? How crazy.
Wow.
He just straight up, a guy from off the street, just like, Tommy, just come right
My
over.
old
It's like,
friend.
yes. It's like, wow, this is so crazy. He's really from the hood. So, that was a crazy story, too.
You had another Tommy as well.
Yes, Tommy Walker of Detroit versus Everybody, another Detroit legend. He was also on the east side, near King High School, near the King homes over there. It's called the Ralph Bunch Co-op. That's where his mom still stays to this day, and it was cool going over there just because it's a place where some of my friends stay now, and I didn't even know that he was from there, but that was the whole. It was funny. His mom comes to the door with the Detroit versus Everybody shirt on, just like she should have.
Yes.
And it was so genuine. It was just cool seeing these superstars and very vulnerable places. Back home where they're actually from. where they're genuine Detroiters. Just to see these superstars as genuine Detroiters was just amazing. And that was the whole point of the project now is just to, bring people down to this level that we can relate to, because for me, growing up in Detroit my whole life, we don't always have immediate positive influences, just to look around and say, great boxer grew up right over here, or Big Sean. Well, we got Big Sean, but this famous. We don't always have that to just look to your left, look to your right, and just see and feel the greatness. We don't always feel that coming up, even though there is a lot of greatness and rich history from Detroit.
Absolutely. Do you ever get the feeling people that you're photographing today just in the neighborhoods, do you ever have those moments where you're like, this person's gonna go places?
Yes, and I honestly can't wait to see, because I know right now I don't even know the half of it. Like I'm gonna look down the line and see some of my photos and say, wow, just what you were saying, like it still hasn't hit me yet. Like, but I know that I can't wait to see what everybody blossoms into and goes on to become, because I've heard some great stories and I've photographed some really awesome people. So it's more of a I can't wait thing for me. I can't wait to see down the line how well these photos age.
Yeah.
Tell us about Detroit Shay.
Detroit Shay. So yeah, she is a local artist. She first got a little bit of shine when she won a contest. Every year the BET Hip Hop Awards has a contest called the Sprite Hot 16 Challenge, and they let people enter. You post a video on YouTube over this specific instrumental, and whoever's video gets the most views or is the hype is, they get a chance to perform on BET, a part of the cipher. And so Detroit Shay, she had a really hype video. She won the challenge and was on the cipher, and she was, a hometown hero ever since then. Yeah. She's done a lot of work with BET. She's been traveling overseas lately. She's did a mixtape with DJ BJ, and yeah, she's kind of like a household name in the hipster community.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
How is it to see the photos, now that it's all come together? Because this project took you like over a year.
Yes, yeah.
So basically the whole time you've worked for the city.
Pretty much.
How did it feel to have those, enlarged frames up on the walls of the Detroit Public Library? The main branch is an amazing building. Yeah.
It's very special to me, because from the very first person that we shot with was Mary Wilson. I knew in my head, like, whatever we do with this project, I don't know when it's going to be finished. I don't know how many people I want to shoot for it to be finished, but I wanted to get the right exposure, because these are legendary moments that we have been capturing, and I wanted the people to see. I wanted people to share. I wanted to share it with people. I wanted the kids to see it. So yeah, man.
Like you said, show those role models.
Exactly.
And give aspirations.
Exactly. So it's a great feeling, especially to see it in the library. Well, first, before the library, we premiered a couple of the photos with Cranes. So it was crazy how it came back full circle. We started with Cranes, Mary Wilson, and then when Cranes 2018 came around, we had the idea to reach out to them to see if they would be interested in kind of showing some of the photos during homecoming, and they loved it. They put us in the official booklet, and it was pretty cool. So to get to that scale and then move on from there and get the library and then get some press from Curbed and the Michigan Chronicle, like it's all been amazing. I'm just more than been pleased that this work hasn't been taken for granted,
right?
Because it's a lot.
A Detroit legend, Aretha Franklin, passed away last year.
Yes.
And I imagine that must have been something that you would have been involved in taking a lot of photos for.
Yes, the city, more specifically, the media department was very heavily involved with Aretha Franklin's funeral arrangements. Our director was very much in touch with the family all the time that whole week of. So everything that they did from, you know, her, it was kind of like a tour. It's not funny, but it was kind of like a tour. You know, she was going from place to place. We were helping with coordinate all of that. So yeah, I was there at the Charles H. Wright. I wasn't allowed to go inside of the Charles H. Wright. I think only one camera was allowed to go in there. It was like the AP. But yeah, I was there taking photos, and then I took photos of the memorials around the city that were honoring Aretha Franklin. Like Cobo Hall had a really nice memorial I got a good shot of. Little Caesars, the Music Hall, so many places around the city had great memorials. And her actual funeral, we were helping out and organizing the actual funeral service, and I was one of like maybe 8 photographers that were allowed inside the actual service when it started. So
wow.
It was crazy. That was special. That was probably one of the top two most special things that I've done with the city so far was being a part of Aretha.
What was the other one?
Yeah.
I gotta be. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys. So what led to me, what everyone in the office knowing about my work, Amber, like I was saying, Amber was letting me come and do shoots for when the other photographer couldn't, until I came in and did the big shoot. She let me come and shoot Big Sean receiving the key to the city. And so
okay.
yeah, once I did that, I took a photo there that kind of took off. Every blog that covered Big Sean getting the key to the city, they used that photo, and so it was a viral photo. Even BET reached out to me to give me credit for the photo, and so after that photo went everywhere, that's when I was on the top of the list for
That's
the
amazing. And did you have a feeling when you got the shot, or you're just taking pics?
Man, I didn't have a feeling that. I don't know. I had the same feeling that I had the whole time I was there. I was just excited to be there.
Right.
But I think what set me apart, because I was standing kind of side by side with the legendary photographer Monica Morgan, and she travels the world taking photos. She's from Detroit as well, but she's older, and she has way more experience in the game. But yeah, I was right next to her, so I was kind of sure that she would definitely have any dibs on her photos being placed anywhere. But I think it was just how quick I did it, because my camera. I didn't even have a high-tech Wi-Fi on my camera at the time. We went into Maru, the sushi place, and I edited that photo like right after the event, and I DM'd I posted it to my page, and I posted it real quick. I posted it to Instagram, and then Big Sean DM'd me, and he wanted to use the photo. He was like, yeah, can you send me this photo?
That he saw on Instagram with you tagging him.
Yes.
And so what do you think was special about it now that you reflect?
About the whole moment? I mean,
and the actual photo, like what?
So you know, and it's weird because in the photo, I mentioned Monica because he was actually looking directly into her camera, but my photo was like a photo of him looking at her camera, but he was still holding his key to the city plaque. So I don't know if it was because Big Sean used it, so people took that photo and ran with it, or if it was a certain kind of light that I got or a glow. I don't know, but it was God. It was God. That's what it was.
Right. Wow. And you do your own work as well, right?
Yes.
So where can people see your work?
Yes. So on my clothing, coolclubclothing.com, I do have some clothing on there, but there's a tab. That's where I do have my photography portfolio right now as well. So there's a photography tab on coolclubclothing.com. This is a mini portfolio. You can check out my work, but for most recent work, my Instagram, Super Cyrus B, at Super Cyrus B.
Cool. Super Cyrus B. Yeah. Okay.
All right, Cyrus, you ready to play a little game?
All right.
Here we go.
Let's do it.
Let me ask you this. Do you have a favorite outdoor mural in the city of Detroit? One that you just love?
Very good question. in Eastern Market, there is a mural of a huge dollar sign, and it's like a green, yellowish with kind of some purple around it. It's on Russell Street, it's on the main strip on Russell Street, across the street from the Shreds.
The artist is Denial.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so I didn't know, but
She gives tours of Eastern Market. She can probably tell you.
I've met all those artists. Denial's from Windsor.
Oh, man. Wow,
His
okay.
real name's Daniel, but
Wow.
he has a whole arts collective in Windsor.
that is so crazy that you knew that.
Yeah, and that's his gift
You
to
should
Detroit.
test her.
Yeah.
She knows.
I'm up for him.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I love that one. Every time I see it, it's so memorable. It's just a huge dollar sign. It's designed in a very cool way. I love that one.
Comic book / circular, and the tiger with the 3 eyes.
Yeah, and I've definitely taken some cool photos of people in front of that mural too. So maybe I had to shoot him a message or something.
Oh, you should. I'll put you in touch.
Yes.
So if you could, you've been around the city so long now, and seeing all these buildings, some of which are in disrepair. Mm-hmm. So if you had the funds, unlimited funds, to restore any Detroit building, which one would it be?
Oh, that's tough. So if I had the funds, honestly, you know what I would do? I would start restoring some homes, maybe either on the east side or where I grew up in the near the Boston Edison. I would restore one of those homes, because I know that those homes they're like, those homes over there are like hidden gems, and a lot of homes in Detroit are like really hidden gems where on the outside, they look kind of regular, but on the inside they're like filled with little trap doors and secret compartments, and oh yeah, back in the day he used to use this for this thing. So I would definitely renovate a home and deck it out with all types of different kind of I want to say trap doors and like
Secret compartments.
Yes, trap doors and secret compartments. I would probably do some residential spots. I would do some. I don't know if that sounds boring now, but
No,
I
think that's fantastic.
Yeah,
Plus, a lot of the workmanship in those homes, you can't build them new that way.
Yes,
Like
yes.
the woodwork
Right,
and all
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
All right, name a Detroiter that we should all follow on Instagram.
Aaron Foley.
He is good.
He is good.
Well,
I watch
mainly-
a lot of his stories.
Yeah,
too.
mainly on Twitter too. He's a character. I hope I don't get in trouble for saying that.
I've seen him get into some arguments on Twitter.
I like he's not afraid to say what he
Well,
thinks.
but
It's
he's
like,
so
yeah.
polite and nice in
Yeah.
person and
Yeah.
mild mannered, and then
He is a character.
Yeah, I've
Greatest
seen
boss
some-
in the world.
I've seen some Twitter battles from that guy.
How about favorite place to see a concert?
My favorite concert venue. I really love L Club, honestly. L Club, it's just I love the vibes. I love that new inside outside vibe too. You can, when they have events, you have that, well, especially in the summertime, that's really nice for day parties. I love the versatility. Events where let you go inside and then open up the outside space as well. So L Club is cool. Marble Bar is a nice spot too for performances too. But I think L Club is like one of my favorite venues in the city right now.
Cool.
You've been in and out a lot of neighborhoods. Do you have a favorite building or structure in a particular neighborhood that you came across while you were going out and photographing all of those?
Let's see, right? So many. So my favorite, I love Northwest Gallery. Northwest Gallery is an art gallery in North Rosedale neighborhood. And I love it because it's a very nice art gallery. I've had 2 shows there, and it's not downtown. It's in a very nice West Side neighborhood. Rosedale is just beautiful. And yeah, there's a lot of there's always something happening at Northwest Gallery. Asia, the artist over the gallery over there, the owner of the gallery, she's very good about keeping some really cool installments and art exhibits inside of Northwest. So yeah, that's one of my favorite buildings in the neighborhood.
Very cool. What's your favorite place for late night food?
You know what? I always say that Detroit won. Coney is the best Coney in the city.
Really? Okay.
I don't care
Everyone
what
has
any-
a favorite.
Yeah.
Detroit won.
Exactly. I love D1. D1, I think they're the best Coney in the city. So, and they're 24 hours. So for late night, I want to go with D1.
If you could photograph any Detroiter, dead or alive, who would it be, and where would you photograph them?
Whoa. I'm gonna need to think about that, but as of right now, it's something that. Well, shoot, I already took his picture.
Who was that?
Well, I was gonna say Sean. I really like. I really want to get a one-on-one with Sean, but and I would. I don't know where I would photograph him at though.
Probably in the debrief studios.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Big
During his
Sean
next
in the
podcast
debrief
interview.
studios.
Right. That's a good answer.
Maybe then we can get him on.
There we go. Let's speak it into existence.
Cyrus Tetteh, one of the 2 official photographers for the city of Detroit, and the guy behind the Neighborhood Natives photo exhibit that is at the Detroit Main Library. It's going to be there till March 3rd, right?
Yes.
Go see it.
Go see it.
Fantastic. 10 photos.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for taking the time. This
thank
was
you for
great.
fun.
having me. It was
So-
fun. Thank you so much.
A lot of fun to have you on. Look, that's it for us. Until next time, Detroit's moving.
Keep up.
The D Brief.
Your guide to Detroit's arts and entertainment scene.